What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Warriors Report. It's time to talk about the Raptors management and how they tricked the entire NBA and how they found a hidden gem in Christian Koloko, as well as signing undrafted Harper Jr. I'm going to break down all of the details of that in today's video. So if you're ready to watch this video, guys, make sure to hit the like button. Let's try to get this video to 120 likes. If you want to hit the subscribe button as well, that'd be very much appreciated. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, as you guys know, I do like to give out shout outs on my channel, and for today's video, the shout out goes out to Jeff. Right, Jeff, thank you so much for supporting this channel through likes and comments. It is very much appreciated. Now, to figure out how the Raptors did what they did in terms of not only choosing Christian Koloko, but also tricking the entire NBA, it's very important to start from the very beginning. Now, this started with the Raptors sending Kyle Lowry to the Miami Heat in exchange for Goran Dragic and Precious Achiuwa. Now, you may be wondering, how does that ultimately lead to Christian Koloko? Well, when you talk about Goran Dragic and the NBA trade deadline, he was part of a deal that sent the Raptors Thaddeus Young, as well as a second-round draft pick that belonged to the Detroit Pistons, which was ultimately the 33rd overall pick. Now, I'm not going to lie, when this deal was made, a lot of fans, including myself, were questioning why the Raptors sent their first-round pick to the Spurs, which seemed at that time to be quite pricey for someone like Thaddeus Young. All of the Raptors fans and a lot of basketball fans in general were wondering what the Raptors could have gotten with someone at the 20th spot. And obviously, it may seem like a big drop-off moving down 13 spots, but it really wasn't. Because when you talk about the Raptors and why they made that move, you definitely need to take a few things into consideration, such as the NBA rookie contract salaries, which I will break down in just a moment. But when you talk about the Raptors, a team that is already pretty much pressed up against the salary cap situation, and they only have about a mid-level exception to spend this offseason, moving from a first round, the 20th pick, in terms of how much money you're going to spend there, ultimately to that 33rd overall pick is a difference of a few $1 million the Raptors have saved. So talking about the rookie contract and salaries, I will read this for you guys just to kind of give you an explanation of what this means for the Raptors and why the Raptors did move back. Now, after teams make their picks at the NBA drafts, contract negotiations typically don't take long because there is a rookie scale set before each season. The scale changes each year based on the salary cap, and a player's draft position dictates how much money he will make on the first contract. More on that below. As it says, teams may sign their first round picks for any amount between 80% to 120% of the figure given on the rookie scale. Second round picks and free agents aren't forced to sign contracts based on rookie scale. Now, I know you may be thinking, well, technically second round picks can sign for a lot more than first round picks, but if that was the case, they wouldn't have fallen to the second round. Very rare scenarios do you see a second round pick sign for a lot more money than a first round pick, of course, because given the talent that drops off after the first round. But this is huge for the Raptors because the Raptors also clearly needed a 7-foot center as well. And when you talk about what they need in a center, they needed a center that was able to rebound, that was a good defender, that can block shots, and they get all of that on a very cheap deal in Christian Koloko. Now, to get to the juicy part, guys, the reason you guys clicked on the video and how the Raptors management tricked the entire NBA. Now, I'm not going to lie, this had me very confused as well, and I did not expect the Raptors to choose Christian Koloko for several reasons. When you talk about Christian Koloko, he had actually not even worked out with the Toronto Raptors at all. So that's why it made me question whether or not they would actually choose someone like Christian Koloko. But I truly believe they did that to kind of offset their interest in Christian Koloko. Obviously, we know there's certain players they're really high on, but it was more than just that. In fact, the Raptors management has been keeping tabs on Christian Koloko since he was a teenager, 16, 17 years old. It's been several years. You talk about NBA managements and how they do a good job of monitoring players in their entire college years. The Raptors have taken that a step further and have monitored not only Christian Koloko, but as well as Scottie Barnes since they were about young teenagers, 16, 17-year-olds, and they are just taking their scouting to a next level. We know the Raptors do a good job, and a lot of people wonder as to how they're able to choose different guys. And look, they kind of threw the entire league off by not working out Christian Koloko at all. And the fact is that they actually worked out quite a few players. The management, Bobby Webster, had said that he had 6-man workouts, and he had 12 of those workouts, meaning they had looked at 72 different players, which is absolutely insane to think of. and Christian Koloko was not one of them. Now, obviously, ideally, when teams are interested in players, they obviously work out players, but the Raptors showed absolutely zero interest. And in fact, when Bobby was asked where they had Christian Koloko, he actually had said he was on their radar. He was projected to be about 2025. So not only did the Raptors save themselves a little bit of money in terms of signing Christian Koloko to a deal when you move from the 20th spot to the 33rd spot, they also tricked the entire NBA, and including a lot of Raptors fan bases as well, who thought it's very unlikely the Raptors would choose Christian Koloko, given that they had not even worked him out. But it's a good technique because obviously a lot of teams wonder about good scouting teams like the Raptors and what they do, and they obviously monitor players, and not by not working him out, they pretty much just kind of showed that they're not really interested, which allowed him to fall a little bit in the draft, and the Raptors got a good one in Christian Koloko. Now it's time to talk about Ron Harper Jr. as well. It's big because he is an undrafted free agent that signed a two-way contract with the Toronto Raptors. Now, I know you're probably thinking, how is he a steal for the Raptors when he is undrafted? And no, not every undrafted player is going to turn into Fred VanVleet. But the thing about this is that obviously Ron Harper could have gone to any team around the NBA, but this is becoming a trend which we saw last season with Justin Champagnie as well. And the fact that Justin Champagnie had only decided that he wanted to sign with the Raptors, as you see there, he turned down 16 other teams. That is more than the entire half of the entire NBA. I'm sure there were some very attractive cities on there. He probably could have gone to New York. He maybe could have gone to LA. There's a lot of obviously teams, but the fact that he decided to choose the Raptors over any of those teams speaks volume of the Raptors organization as a whole, but also their scouting report as well. Again, Ron Harper, I'm sure he got a lot of offers as well. So obviously the young players coming into the league are viewing the Raptors as a model franchise and how they would like teams to treat their young players. You see teams out there like the LA Lakers, any moment the young players start doing well, they get talked about in trade discussions. But that is not the case with the Raptors. They don't try to force trade just to trade their young players for better assets. They work with these guys to develop them, and they have done a wonderful job. And they have really just played mind games in terms of with Christian Koloko, because I'm not going to lie, I've absolutely felt for the fact that he did not work out with the Raptors, and I thought they weren't going to draft him for that reason. So not only did they trick the entire NBA, they even fooled their own fan bases. So like they say, don't let them know your next move. The Raptors actually took that to the next level. And in fact, the fact that they were looking at Christian Koloko since he was 17 years old as well. We know Masai Ujiri has an eye for international talent, especially a lot of talent out there in Africa as well. So it's quite interesting to see the Raptors get these two players in Christian Koloko and Ron Harper Jr. as well. But I do want to hear your thoughts. Did you actually believe the Raptors were going to choose Christian Koloko? Do you think this was a great move by actually not working him out? They seemed like they weren't interested, and then they had chosen him with that 33rd overall pick. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, guys, I do have a trivia question for you today. And that trivia question is, how many players on the Raptors roster are from Africa? So the continent of Africa. Obviously, for those, I'm not trying to stereotype. Africa is not a country, it's a continent. So how many players do the Raptors have from Africa? Is it A3? Is it B5? Is it C4? Or is it D2? So whoever answers this trivia question correctly first in the comment section gets a shout out in my next video. So that will be it for today's video, guys. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe as well. Let's get this channel to 4,000 subscribers. And with that being said, guys, I just want to thank you for your support. That will be it for today's video. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.